Hello and welcome to SHRP Talk, the show by washed-up athletes for washed-up athletes looking to be their best self. Today's episode ripped a solo episode talking about something that is hopefully timely for a lot of you out there, how to maintain healthy habits and discipline while on the road, while traveling or on vacation in terms of exercise, nutrition, sleep, spiritual health, all that good stuff. Get into my recent trip to Hilton Head and some other trips that I have coming up and my experience with traveling in the past, how I used to have some pretty unhealthy habits while on the road and how I've implemented some different strategies and game plans to make sure I'm not coming back 5 to 10 pounds heavier and feeling sluggish, and just finding ways to stay active and stay somewhat close to my normal routine while on the road, while still giving myself grace and making some much needed adjustments while on the road, not having access to my normal strength training equipment or my normal foods that I eat. And so how to adjust, how to give yourself grace while also just having a game plan going into it. And so hopefully just a lot of great takeaways for you for any big trips or vacations that you may have coming up, with it being the summertime. Just some things that you can do to go into it feeling guilt-free and be guilt-free during it and guilt-free coming out of it, and just allow you to fully enjoy those trips and vacation while just implementing some practical tips and hopefully some takeaways for you. Appreciate you tuning in, and hopefully you enjoy. Before we get rolling with today's episode, I want to take a minute to tell you about SHRP Training. Snyder Health, Recovery, and Performance Training is designed for former athletes to improve their physical, mental, and spiritual health. For only $12 a month, you can choose a training plan that is catered to your needs, interests, and goals, with new programs delivered each month through the Team Builder app. You'll also receive 24/7 messaging and feedback from coaches, access to an exclusive Discord to continually learn and be encouraged by others, a 20% discount on Thorne supplements, and access to the Sharp Edge, the ultimate guide to upgrading your diet, sleep, and life. Iron sharpens iron, so let us help you become your sharpest self. Now let's go. And we're back with another edition of SHRP Talk. As you can see, maybe if you're on the video version on YouTube or Spotify, coming back to you, well, one, solo again, and two, maybe a little bit darker than last time you saw me. Just got back from a little vacation in Hilton Head Island, first time out there in South Carolina. So fun little trip with some friends and family. Good to just get away for a few days, reset a little bit, enjoy some time hanging out, some time golfing, and just enjoying the sun. As you can tell, got some burns still on the shoulders and some peeling going on, all that good stuff. But just a good vacation, and got another little trip coming up as well. Got a work conference down in New Orleans that I'm leaving for in 3 days. So this will probably be coming out by the time I'm back from that. But just kind of a quick turnaround. That time of year where there's a lot of trips going on, vacations, all that good stuff. So kind of fits into the theme of what I want to get into for today. Pretty timely, is just maintaining decently healthy habits while on the road, while traveling, while on vacation, in terms of exercise, nutrition, sleep, spiritual health, all that good stuff. Just something I've been thinking about and trying to be good about. Something I had to practice a lot while on the road as a strength coach, with having 4-day trips pretty much every other weekend, with traveling with basketball and baseball, and there was definitely times early on where I was really bad about staying active or eating decent or sleeping well or adjusting while traveling or flying. So a lot of personal experience with that, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who maybe have a lot of vacations or trips as well, who also struggle with maintaining some healthy habits or feeling guilt while on the road or after getting back from their trip, or seeing the scale add 5 pounds. And I've definitely been there before as well, but definitely some practical things you can do while traveling on vacation to just keep the body right, the mind right, and all that good stuff. So just some some personal practices as well as hopefully some tips for some other people that can, help you to just enjoy that time and not feel guilty about those things by just taking care of some little things. A lot of people will, throw out discipline out the window, or maybe just try to stick too hard to their normal routine while traveling, and it just doesn't work well, and they, don't enjoy themselves during it. And I think it's just about finding balance, giving yourself grace while still being intentional about being disciplined in these areas. So getting into it, a few different topics that we'll hit on. We'll go ahead and start on just exercise and movement in general. Kind of the main theme with this, you don't have to follow an exact training plan while you're on the road, but that doesn't mean you have to do nothing and just lounge around and lay around in the sun, 24/7. While you're traveling, you can move in, fun and creative ways while you're on the road. So for me, Hilton Head, a lot of it's just baked into the trip. So we did plenty of golfing out in the heat, so burned a ton of calories doing that. On the beach, so you can do some swimming, I did some walking, running on the beach. Get into a story with that a little bit as we get going here. Some biking, a lot of spike ball that was played. And so I think that's the nice part of, especially in the summer, a lot of trips, there's a lot of activity just built into it, and being outside more, and, whether that's hiking or, whatever it is, I think there's a lot you can just naturally do while on the road. For me personally, I don't like to do a ton of lifting while I'm on the road. Again, back when I was traveling with different sports teams as a strength coach, I would try to maintain somewhat of a routine, but it's tough when you don't really know what you're going to get in a hotel weight room, and you can certainly still get a good, body weight workout in or dumbbell workout in. But for me, I just didn't find it to be very productive. And so I started just relying on other forms of exercise instead of strength training. One, again, just because, not having my usual equipment and routine, and didn't want to worry about programming while on the road, and would kind of waste time just trying to figure stuff out instead of having a plan going in like I normally do. So that's one reason. And then two, it's kind of a nice built-in break from my normal routine of doing, a lot of the same strength training and sprinting and plyometrics and Olympic lifts, all that good stuff. It's kind of a built-in deload for me, if you will. I don't do a lot of deloads naturally on my own. I kind of just rely on travel, trips, just allow life to be the deload, if you will. I think that that's what I found to work best, just kind of built into it. And so I don't do a lot of strength training on the road. Again, not to say you can't. There's certainly a lot of good body weight and dumbbell stuff that you can get done, but just not what I like to do. So if nothing else, like on those trips where maybe it wasn't summer or wasn't a destination, not a lot of time outside, if nothing else, my favorite fallback is just, there's always going to be an elliptical somewhere. So just doing a elliptical for, 60 minutes, zone 2, keeping heart rate like 125 to 145, just good old steady state. I do that once a week anyway in my training, but good to zone in on that more and work on that aspect while I'm not strength training. So that's always nice to do as a fallback if I need to get something done. If there's no elliptical, on a treadmill, doing some, incline walks or walking outside, just a bike, whatever it is, just more steady state. If nothing else, for like the summer though, again, it's just a way to get different types of exercise in that I normally don't get to do. So, like Hilton Head, spike ball was built into it. Played, 2+ hours of spike ball one day. Golf was built into it. Again, not a ton of calories, relatively speaking, burned while playing golf. But when you're out in the 85 plus degrees in the middle of the day, yeah, you're gonna burn some calories, and especially if it's a 4 to 5 hour round like we played. So definitely works well. For me, I while in Hilton Head did some, I think it was a Monday morning, did some walking and jogging, running intervals while on the beach in the morning, and normally I don't do a lot of like long distance running, but again, this is a time to do exercise, types of training that I don't normally do. For me, I don't run typically just because I have so much pounding already between plyometrics, running, jumping, Olympic lifts, all that stuff. And so it just doesn't really fit with my routine, but I still enjoy doing it on occasion. And so did some running one morning, and I think I ran/walked, kind of just some intervals, would run when I was feeling good. And I went like 2 miles out, and towards the end of that, felt my feet starting to get torn up a little bit from, I think, just a blend of the sand, being barefoot, and like the salt from the water. And I had to hurry back because we had a earlier tea time, and so I had to keep that same pace coming back. So while I had like feet starting to get torn up and blistered up and eventually like bleeding toward the end, I had to keep running and walking. And so yeah, for a good 2-3 day stretch there, my feet were pretty torn up, and doing some walks, or walking and running, which I normally would have fallen back on, couldn't do that. So had to make an audible and found there's a bunch of bike shops in the area. And so I found a 2-day rental for a little bike you could take on the beach. And so I resorted to, hey, instead of walking and running, we're just going to do some biking in the mornings. And so did some like 60 to 75 minute bike rides in the morning, just steady state. One of the ways out was straight into the wind. So I kind of did some intervals. I would go into the wind for 10 minutes and then go back with the wind for like 5 to 8 minutes, just because I was moving a little faster. And so some nice built-in intervals with that. And it was really cool. Again, I don't do a lot of biking in my normal routine, but when the opportunity presents itself and you get to do it on a beach next to the ocean with a beautiful sunrise, just beautiful scenery, it makes it a pretty cool experience. And so again, wasn't ideal or what I totally expected, but just again, a fun way to do other types of exercise and cardio that you don't normally do, whether that's built into the trip itself. If it's like hiking or camping, obviously you're going to burn more calories than you do in your normal everyday life. But, if it's a summer trip, like for me, we have our Hoogeveen vacation coming up in a month, and we do, golfing and Hoogeveen Olympics, and we'll do, spike ball and all that good stuff. And a lot of it is just built into it. So again, it's just a time to explore, have fun, enjoy movement, enjoy being outside more than you probably normally are. And if it is, winter or not to a destination, just finding a fallback on, either keeping some semblance of your normal routine or just finding a time to focus on a weak area or do something else, working on cardio or working on body weight exercises or ISO. So plenty of opportunities to just move around and, again, give your body a break from its usual routine. Use it as a built-in deload, but just a fun way to move and stay active in some different ways rather than just being a bum the whole time. Again, it's a balance. You can give yourself some grace. You don't have to punish yourself to make up for all the food you're eating, which we'll get into next. But just giving yourself grace, but also still finding a way to get a good sweat in a little bit every day. So that's the exercise piece. Moving on to nutrition. So maybe a even tougher area to maintain when you're on the road. You're going to eat more processed food or indulgent foods if you're eating out or traveling on the road, more fast food opportunities, and you don't have your normal routine or your store-bought foods, organic stuff that you can normally get. And so that's okay. The goal isn't perfection. It's just being, intentional and having some sort of strategy behind it while also giving yourself some grace. So for me personally, I used to bring a ton of like protein bars and like supplements and stuff, just to try to still hit like my protein goals. But as I've gotten further away from like the athletic career and being obsessed over that, I've stopped doing that. Just don't really again, it makes travel easier and it's just less stressful. Not having to worry about bringing that stuff along. And so definitely just fewer meals overall. So as I've hit on in previous podcasts, I'll do like 4 to 5 meals a day with protein spread out, just because I'm training every day and just want to make sure I'm recovering and getting a ton of protein to eat well. But as I just hit on, I'm not doing a lot of strength training or strenuous stuff on the road, so a little bit lighter recovery wise. And so getting that protein goal isn't as important while on the road, and there's going to be big meals built into it. And so I don't need to eat as often or as frequently. And just stick to like 2 to 3 big meals. I've actually more lately, as I've gotten into like intermittent and long duration fasting, I'll just like skip breakfast some days and just eat like 2 big meals, eat a big lunch, eat a big dinner, because I like Hilton Head, we would eat something decently big at the house or eat out for lunch, and then do the same thing for dinner. We had like a bunch of pizzas delivered one night. We went out to a big seafood place one night. We had a hibachi chef come to our Airbnb, which was pretty sick. So did that one night. And so just doing 2 to 3 big meals per day, and then just skipping breakfast, doing a longer duration fast, or not a long duration, but intermittent fast, and just cutting down that eating window. So doing eating window of probably, what did I do? I mean, probably a 10-hour eating window. So 14-hour fast, or maybe like an 8-hour eating window with a 16-hour fast, as opposed to my 12 and 12. And then again, 2 to 3 meals instead of 4 to 5. So that's kind of how I manage calories and protein, just because, again, you're going to be eating some good and processed foods, bigger meals. So just a good way to prepare for that and go into it, so you're not adding those 5 to 10 pounds by the end of the trip. Again, those morning fasts kind of set the tone, and I think definitely helps not snacking all day as well, which again can be tough. Like we had a bunch of snacks there, but not relying on snacking all day and just trying to keep it to those, eating around those meal times, because again, when your environment kind of dictates it. So if there's a bunch of snacks around, it can be hard to say no to that. And again, you can give yourself some grace, and if it's only for a few days, it's not going to kill you. But also just not going out of control, not just eating out of boredom or eating just because food's around the whole time, still maintaining some discipline. Just because there's going to be built-in desserts to it too. Like Hilda, we did like went to an ice cream shop a couple times. We did a little homemade cookie skillet with ice cream on it a couple nights, which was fantastic. I definitely indulged in that, among some other stuff that, again, is just built into it. And so not going crazy on snacking. Just giving yourself grace, but also still just practicing moderation while you're on vacation or while you're at your destination. Let's see. And yeah, I'm pretty dialed in when I'm home. Again, just because I'm training every day, I'm pretty dialed in on my macros, getting my protein, getting my carbs, my healthy fats, as well as micros with, fruits and vegetables and supplements and all that good stuff. And it's just, I don't think you need to worry about that on the road for a few days. It's not going to kill you. Again, as I've gotten further away from my athletic career, I've realized that it's not that serious, and that you can get away from focusing on that stuff for a few days. And it just allows you to not stress while you're on the road, allows you to enjoy yourself and let the hair down a little bit. And so even like supplement wise, I I forgot to take them pretty much every day. I think I just brought like a fish oil and multivitamin because I knew I probably wouldn't take them anyway, and I definitely didn't. And so again, it's not going to kill you if you do that for a few days. So focusing less on macros, micros, all that stuff, and more so on just trying to limit calories somewhat, not going crazy, but again, just allowing yourself to have a good time and enjoy those days. So you don't have to eat perfectly on the road. And what kind of helps me is on travel days, especially when there's flights involved, I like to do a little longer fast going into it and going out of it, or maybe just one or the other. So like anywhere from a 18 to 36 hour fast. So one, it just kind of helps the body adjust while flying. It can be tough time zone change as well as just being at altitude. Not everyone's body responds to that very well. I know my body definitely has in at different times, especially if you're changing multiple time zones or have just a huge travel day. And so honestly, fasting has been shown to be really helpful with that. I don't have a ton of the science behind that, but I know for me personally, that's helped my body adjust better and feel better while flying and on the road. And again, it kind of helps mindset wise and just kind of takes the guilt away. When going into it, I know that I'm going to be eating like crap more likely than not while I'm there. So doing a little fast going into it, it just helps me feel better about that. And then by the end of it, after eating like crap for a few days, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to just stay away from food for a little while longer. So having that built in naturally on those travel days, again, especially while flying, but it can apply to driving too. Definitely found that to be beneficial. So it could be something for you to consider as well. Definitely saves money, especially like airports with, prices being a little bit crazy at some of the places that they offer food, or, gas stations or fast food. It just helps you save a little bit money, keeps your digestion clean, helps with any time zone adjustments, and just a good mental and physical reset before and after the trip. And so like for me, I was worried I was going to add weight like I normally do. Like some of those trips while I was traveling as a strength coach, I'd come back 5 pounds heavier. And when I checked the scale for this one, I think I weighed, I was at 182 before I left, and the day after I got back, I was 180.8. And so not only did I not gain weight, I lost a few pounds, again, just from those exercise tips that I hit on, as well as the nutrition. And that wasn't something that I was aiming for. It was just naturally just from having a little bit of discipline, a little bit of strategy going into it. I was able to do that, and it's definitely doable for you as well. And again, you don't have to be perfect. You can definitely eat and chill without any guilt, but just finding subtle ways to still stay disciplined a little bit can definitely pay off. Next one, also a tough one, especially for me as an early riser. Sleep is going to be off. Sleep is going to be impacted again, especially if you're an early riser like me. Again, don't have to stress about it. A few days of poor sleep aren't going to kill you. You can do what you can to get at least a decent amount of sleep. But again, it's probably going to, between travel, flights and, late nights, there's probably going to be some sleep that's affected. So like for me personally, I am an early riser by nature. I typically wake up like when the sun rises. So in the summer, closer to 5:30, 5:45. In the winter, closer to 6 to 6:15. I can't sleep in for the life of me, no matter what. I don't even try anymore. I can't remember the last time I've slept in past like 7:30. And so even on Hilton Head, I would not set an alarm just because I had nowhere to be in the morning. And sure enough, body was still waking up it was Eastern time, so it was waking up at like 6:30. So pretty close to my normal home routine, even though it's getting to bed at a little later time most nights. But again, I can't sleep in no matter what I do. And some people aren't built like that at all. Like there were some guys who were sleeping until 9, 10, even 11 a few times. And my body just can't do that. And so for me, my way of trying to deal with that a little bit. One, just going into it knowing that you're not going to get as much sleep as normal. And then as well, again, I'm going to be up later. Normally I'm in bed by 9 and falling asleep by 10 to 10:15. But, on a trip like that, hanging out with friends, just having a good time, enjoying each other's company or going out. I try to have like a midnight cutoff. Again, just if I'm waking up at anywhere from 5:30 to 6:30, at least trying to get close to 6 hours of sleep. Probably not going to get 7, but at least getting reasonable. Whereas if I'm staying out till 2 to 3 a.m. and going to wake up early regardless, if I'm doing that for 4 days, that's where it could get impacted a little bit, get a little irritable, get a little moody just from running on 3 hours of sleep every night. My body, some people can deal with that and adjust to that. But for me, I try not to take caffeine while I'm on the road. Again, just a nice little deload and getting away from caffeine just because I'm taking it pretty much every day while I'm at home. So again, just a nice little deload. So I try not to rely on caffeine for energy, even if I'm tired. So some people can rely on that and be fine. I just choose not to. And so again, just trying to get 5 to 6 hours of sleep minimum, and just going from there and just giving yourself grace. But yeah, I like to again stay away from caffeine, get a little caffeine detox, and just go into it with the expectation that I'll catch up when I get home and get back in my routine when I get home, and kind of have body. Again, it also helps if you somewhat keep either a wake up time or bedtime. So obviously the bedtime didn't stay, but the wake up time did, and just keeping that routine makes it a little easier to adjust when you get back home. Again, especially with time changes, I think it helps to keep it close to your regular wake up time. So if you're going out to the West Coast instead, going back 2 hours, instead of waking up at 6:30 that time, it would be waking up at 8:30, just to keep your normal, keep in line with your normal routine back home. And again, that can be difficult if you're waking up as the sun rises, but using blackout curtains or whatever. But just trying to keep somewhat close to your regular routine, I've found that to be helpful, not only during the trip, but also transitioning when you're getting back home, so it doesn't take 2 to 3 plus days to get back into a groove. You kind of just fall back into it naturally. So from the sleep side, that's what I have found to be helpful. And then kind of the last piece here, just from the spiritual health side. So again, just like everything else, it doesn't have to look like your normal routine of, getting in scripture or devotionals or prayer and whatever, that finding a church to go to. You don't have to be perfect with everything, but you can still grow and connect with God through trips, through vacations. It might just look a little different. So again, like past struggles, past vacations, or traveling on the road as a coach, like I just wouldn't even bring my Bible or devotional along, just because similar to the supplements, I knew that I would forget to do it and follow the routine just because there's stuff going on and my mind's not thinking about it. And so pretty much just stopped bringing it to with me all along. And yeah, forget about it, go straight into the day and just kind of leave God out of it, to be honest, and just go about my day and kind of forget about him, maybe say a prayer at the end of the day, but that's kind of the extent of it. But I think as I've made that time more of a priority, spending that quiet time with God, and making daily Bible reading a priority, daily devotionals a priority, daily prayer, it feels weird to not do it now, even if I am on the road. And so I've gotten better about that. I was good with it this last trip. Still spending that time in the morning. It helps being up before pretty much everyone else. You're not missing out on anything, but just committing that small, even if it is a small bit of time, 5 to 10 minutes or whatever it is, to spend time in the Word or devotionals or prayer. Just making that small sacrifice, and then you can go about your day, but also still trying to include him in that, including him throughout the day, and just quiet reflection or prayer throughout the day, or maybe you're a night person when it comes to that stuff. So again, just finding a way to not be perfect, but still make it a priority, because if you are a Christian, it should be one of the most important things in your life. And so just finding a way to still keep that at the front and center, while also, again, give yourself some grace in that. And just because it maybe doesn't look like your normal routine at home, it doesn't mean you can't still draw closer to him in various ways. So like for me, like this past trip, when you go to like a destination or a cool place and there's all this scenery, you have the ocean, the beach, these cool animals running around, cool looking trees, whatever it is, it's just an opportunity to admire God's creation and just be in awe of the beauty that's around you. There's so many cool places in this country and the world that you don't get to see every day, and so it's just a chance to soak that in and include him in that and thank him for that, and just see his beauty in that creation. And so I think that's one way to draw closer to him, and still stay present with him. It's also a chance to just stay present with loved ones, and even like connect with new people. I think that's also, your family, friends, loved ones, also a gift from God, or even the people you meet while on those trips can be a gift as well. And so just seeing God through those people and through those connections, and just finding that time to put the phone away, turn the TV off, and just put all of that stuff aside and just be really present with the people around you. I think that can be a great way to connect and grow in that way as well. And then like for me with those morning walks or bike rides, again, just kind of letting that be the quiet time, and maybe during that just putting worship music on instead of a podcast, or even just doing it in silence and just enjoying the scenery around you. I think that can be a great tool that you can use as well. And, just being open to whatever those trips or vacations bring, whatever, environments you're placed in, or the people you're around, just still finding ways to include God in that. And just as we don't want to put God to the wayside during our week and outside of church or in our everyday lives, we also don't want to do the same while we're traveling or on vacation or out of our normal routine. And so still finding ways to include him in those things, and still prioritizing that relationship, even if it doesn't look like it normally does while you're back home. So again, kind of just an overview of some different ways, different aspects: exercise, nutrition, sleep, spiritual health, all that stuff, your daily habits, just ways to adjust when you get out of your routine. Again, this is definitely harder for me, being so routine oriented. Sometimes there's times where I don't even like vacation and just want to be home, just because I do like my routine so much, and I'm so routine oriented. And so it can be a good way to get away from making that an idol or a priority. Just a good way to get out of that, and just taking time to chill and just see what the day brings, and relax and get out of the routine. So it could definitely be good for you as well. But different people adjust to it in different ways. For me, again, being a homebody and routine oriented, it's not always the easiest, but again, just giving yourself some grace, having fun, and just being present and enjoying every moment you get to, even if it's only a few days or up to a week, just enjoying the opportunities that you're blessed with, staying fun, or staying active in fun ways, exploring and moving in ways you normally don't get to move while you're home, eating, hopefully less often, but eating well and just enjoying the food. Again, you're going to not only get to see cool scenery, but also maybe be exposed to food that you don't always get to eat. And again, that could be a gift from God as well, in moderation. And so just enjoying, again, like great seafood places. I'm not a seafood guy, but I'll try some salmon, or I tried sushi or shrimp, I think, and it wasn't great. but I tried gator bites, which I don't normally do, but those were actually pretty good. And so just taking that opportunity to enjoy that, and just eating good food and enjoying yourself while still having some moderation and discipline with that. Sleep is going to be off. It's not going to be great. If you can find a way to keep it perfect, hats off to you, but it's probably not going to look like it normally does. You can be okay with that. Just get what you can. Don't be stressed out about getting low levels of sleep, and just try to keep it somewhat consistent with what your home your routine at home looks like, so that you can adjust better when you get back from the trip. And then finally, just not forgetting about God. He'll meet you wherever you go. You can include him in the little things. There's not rules with how you spend your time with Jesus. Yes, obviously prayer and Bible reading and devotionals are all great things, but there's not rules to how you spend time with Jesus. And you can grow closer to him in different ways as well. Again, just through admiring his creation, or just taking time to be silent or listen to worship music and just admire what you have around you, and the gifts and the places he brought you, and just the all of the creation that's out there. And so just having joy in that and growing closer to him through that. So, vacations are great. Again, a break from routine, but they don't have to be a complete break from who you are, or a chance to just be a potato or a bum the whole time. Still plenty of ways to be active and staying true to your values, your discipline, your habits, and not letting all of that good work that you, have focused on while you're back home, just throwing it all away for a few days or a week, just because, you have the chance to get out of that and do some cool things. So staying true to your values, but also showing yourself grace and just using it as a time to reset, reconnect, recharge, all that good stuff. Just being present and allowing yourself to just fully enjoy that time away from your regular routine. It can definitely be a blessing, and just finding ways to, again, not be perfect, but just adjusting, having somewhat of a game plan, somewhat of a strategy, and just making the most out of those opportunities. And so hopefully this is helpful, pretty timely, I'm sure. Hopefully, you listen in, you've had some good trips so far this summer, and maybe got some planned as well. I know I do, like I said, excited to get down and to New Orleans again, and then got our Hugavine vacation coming up, which we have every year. So, of course, excited for that. So, all sorts of stuff going on, and so hopefully just one or two practical things that you can take away as you go into these trips, and just go into it feeling a little better prepared and a little more guilt-free going into it, during it, and coming out of it. So appreciate you tuning in. And if you have any questions on anything mentioned here, or any strategies you're curious about with any trips you may have coming up, feel free to just reach out and let me know, and let us know, let Sharp Training know, me and Jaden, and we'll be happy to help you out and just help you be your best self in whatever way that looks like. So appreciate you tuning in. Till next time, deuces. Thanks for listening to the show. If you enjoyed today's episode, leave a rating, review, or tell a friend to check us out. Be sure to follow us at SHRP_training for more content to help you be your best self. Go be great today.